What up? This is JP from Off the Ball Network giving you a recap of Week 13 of the NFL season. We're getting close and hot and heavy into the playoffs and everything, and we're going to talk about the games from this past weekend. So before we get into it, make sure you subscribe down below to Off the Ball Network for more sports content. Check out offtheballnetwork.com. You get articles, podcasts, everything you need on offtheballnetwork.com. Bets, everything. Shout out to Off the Ball Network for doing their thing. Shout out to the guys. They're doing their thing. They're killing it. Everything. We want to be the best four-letter sports network in the world. And follow us on our social media platforms too as well. Let's go ahead and get into the NFL weekend because we were getting excited for the championship weekend in college football. We forgot that NFL is still around too as well. So let's go ahead and get into this past Thursday night's game between the Cowboys versus the Saints. The Dallas Cowboys defense, shout out to Dan Quinn, stepping in, for Mike McCartney, who was down with the COVID protocols. He stepped in as the acting head coach, and the defense carried Dallas 27-17. Taysom Hill with the nasty finger injury. It was just nasty to see, though. But the Saints are just really sinking. They are really sinking right now. Like, it's just disappointing to see. They're 2-4 at home. Like, they are 2-4, and the Cowboys, if you flip flop it, they're 4-2 now in away games. So it's just desperate to see the Saints just sinking down like that. But Dallas had to get this win. Dallas had to get this win. So congratulations to the Cowboys. And let's go ahead and get into the rest of the games. We have the Buccaneers versus the Falcons. 30-17, the Buccaneers. Tom Brady, 368 yards, scoring 30 out of 51 with 4 touchdowns. Chris Godwin, 15 receptions, 143 yards. They played without Antonio Brown, who got suspended, but giving out a fake vaccination card. What a stupid idiot! You gotta do better than that. You gotta do better than that. Gronkowski had an unbelievable game too as well. That deadly combination, one of the most underrated combinations, but greatest combinations of all time. Tom Brady linking up with Rob Gronkowski, they played really well. The defense shut out the Falcons. They didn't score anything in the second half. The Falcons did, but Falcons after they scored 17 points in the first half. But 30-17, the Buccaneers is looking really good so far. Then we have the Cardinals versus the Bills. And 33-22 Cardinals. Murray throws for 2 touchdowns, then one's for 2 and they were in prime position, and played unbelievable. So the Bills ain't really gonna do anything this year. They're probably gonna fire Matt Nagy at the end of the season. He got lucky he didn't get fired on Thanksgiving. They picked up the victory on Thanksgiving, but he's pretty much done though. He is pretty much done. So. But Chargers versus the Bengals. The Bengals look really good last week against Steelers, and then they got destroyed this week by the Chargers 41-22. About time that the Chargers really they've just been up and down this season after we praised them so highly this season at the beginning because Justin Herbert was playing really well, and they got all these weapons with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, and then the defense too as well. So, but they really bounced back. They scored 16 points in the first quarter and then 17 in the fourth quarter. Justin Herbert going 26 out of 35 with 317 yards and 3 touchdowns. Eckler with 59 yards and 1 touchdown on 14 carries. Shout out to T. Higgins from the Bengals. He's been balling the past couple games. Had 138 yards and 1 touchdown on 9 receptions, but still lost though. And then we have the Vikings versus the Lions. Lions, congratulations. They get their first victory because we think that the Lions was going to not win the game. But they picked up the victory. Jared Goff with a 70-something yard game-winning drive. The Vikings lost to Jared Goff. The defense they didn't have a lot defensively. Dalvin Cook was out. Adam Thielen's injury kind of impacted them, on Sunday too as well. Kirk Cousins, 340 yards, 2 touchdowns, going 30 out of 40 though. Madison, 22 carries, 90 yards and a touchdown. Justin Jefferson with 182 yards, 1 touchdown, 11 receptions. What I love about the Lions every single week, they play really hard no matter what. Like Dan Campbell fired these guys up and they play really hard and they get so competitive. But yeah, it was just, they were up like 20-6, and then the Vikings made a comeback in the um, in the second half. And then, like I said, that 70-something game-winning drive, Jared Goff took the Lions down. And, man, it's just disappointing to see the Vikings. The Vikings probably won't even make the playoffs, and that hurts because I'm a Vikings fan, but I'm not going to get into it, though. So, but congratulations to the Lions. They are 1-10-1. And, Vikings is just sinking. They are just really sinking right now. After they beat the Packers, losing to the 49ers, to Deebo Samuel and Jimmy Garoppolo, and now to the Lions, they're just not looking good right now. Then we have the Giants versus the Dolphins. The Dolphins have been looking really good so far. Been looking really good. The streak has continued. The 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, 30 out of 41. He's playing like a really good quarterback so far the past couple of weeks, though. Jalen Waddle, so much praise for him. 9 receptions with 90 yards. So they beat the Giants 20-9. That defense is something serious. That defense is so good, and the Giants just can't really do anything. The 9 points came from 3 field goals from their kicker. Man, that offense could not do anything, right? Then we have the Eagles versus the Jets. Jalen Hurts was hurt. So Minshew, who used to play for Jacksonville, stepped in and played really well. Got 20 out of 25, 242 yards and 2 touchdowns. Sanders with 24 carries, 120 yards. Goodope, 6 receptions, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns. Eagles scored on first 7 drives to beat the Jets 33-18. Like I said, the Jets don't really give a lot of effort, every single week. They just been really disappointing to see, but they put up 18 points in the first half, but it's still like, the Eagles had to beat the Eagles will beat the Jets. So you can beat the Jets with like a stick. So and then we have the Colts versus the Texans. The Colts shut out the Texans at home 31-0. Jonathan Taylor, who's going to end up being the leading running back with the rushing title. 143 yards, 2 touchdowns on 32 carries. Carson Wentz, 158 yards, a touchdown, 16 out of 22. I've been impressed with Michael Pittman Jr., 6 receptions, 77 yards. Darius Leonard and that defense shut out the Texans. The Texans couldn't even do anything. They really could not do anything that game. Then we have the Washington football team versus the Las Vegas Raiders. And, the Washington football team been going on a streak lately. This is the 4th straight win after Chase Young goes down, with that ACL injury that's out for the season. And they just rallied and beat the Raiders 17-15. Just unbelievable. Very impressed because the football team is actually probably going to make the playoffs. I think they're like the 6th, 7th seed. They are about to make the playoffs. So, congratulations to the football team. They can keep this up. Then we have the Jaguars versus the Rams. The Rams finally bounced back after losing a couple games in a row, beat the Jaguars. But Jaguars ain't that great. But hell, you got to bounce back from it, because if you lost to the Jaguars, then something's wrong with your team. Something's really wrong with your team, Coach McVay. Come on now. So they snapped that 3-game skid. 37-7. Matt Stafford, 26 out of 38, 295 yards, 3 touchdowns. Sony Michel, 121 yards, 1 touchdown on 24 carries. Cooper with 129 yards, 1 touchdown and 8 receptions. Yep, pretty much the defense played really well. But like I said, the Jaguars isn't out that good, so I don't really want to say they're back and all that. So we'll just have to wait and see how how well they're going to play the next couple weeks before the playoffs. Then we have the Ravens versus the Steelers. And, Lamar Jackson, 253 yards, a touchdown, going 23 out of 37. Johnson from Pittsburgh showed out with 105 yards, 2 touchdowns, 8 receptions. The gamble didn't really pay off for the Ravens as they lose to the Steelers 20-19. John Harbaugh tried to go for the win, and it failed tremendously. Then we heard news that Ben Roethlisberger, he said this might be the last season as the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So it's kind of giving you like a hint that he's going to retire, or he probably wants to go to another team. So we just have to wait and see. He didn't really say what he wanted to do. All he said was this is, his final season as a quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Is he going to retire, or is he going to go to another team? We just have to wait and see. I think he's going to retire. That would probably be the best thing for him. Because, I don't think he can give it his all anymore. He probably could give you like maybe one good game, but that's about it, though. Then we have the 49ers versus the Seahawks. The Seahawks, with a impressive victory, 30-23 over the 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo had 299 yards and 2 touchdowns, going 20 out of 30. George Kittle with an amazing first half, and then he ended up at the end of the game with 9 receptions, 181 yards and 2 touchdowns. And man, I tell you what, the Seahawks, they held on. They really held on. All the late game mistakes and the missed opportunities, But I'm impressed though, because like they needed something. They needed some life to get a victory. Russell Wilson and and Pete Carroll, they needed something. They really needed something. So, and the 49ers didn't have Deebo Samuel too as well, so that kind of hooked them a little bit though. But hey, it is what it is though. But the 49ers couldn't do anything in the second half as they got shut out by the Seahawks defense. So. And then we have the Broncos versus the Chiefs, 22-9. Chiefs is looking really good so far. So definitely, they keeping that AFC West lead. And then we have last night's game between the Patriots and the Bills. The Patriots are looking really good. I mean, they are looking really good. 14-10. I mean, that defense of the Patriots is unbelievable. They've been playing unbelievable this season. It just seems like they just woke up and Bill Belichick is just doing the best coaching, of his career, leading into that Patriots team. They are, do you know they're undefeated in away games? They are 6-0. 6-0. And they are 9-4 overall. Could Bill Belichick win Coach of the Year? He could. He really could. Harris had an unbelievable game with 1 touchdown, 111 yards, and 10 carries. I mean, that defense shutting out the Bills' offense, and we keep bringing high praise to the Bills' offense. Josh Allen didn't have a great game, but hey, I mean, the Patriots, could the Patriots make the Super Bowl? I mean, with that team, could they win the AFC? Could they beat the Chiefs? I mean, those are questions. Could we see a Bucks-Patriots Super Bowl matchup? Could we see Brady versus Belichick? I mean, those are so many questions you have to answer, though. But we just have to wait and see, though. But congratulations to the Patriots, though. And then we'll see how, like, the Browns, the Packers, the Titans, and the Panthers, definitely, in their bye weeks, we'll see how they play next week, especially with the Panthers after they fire Joe Brady. I didn't really like the firing of Joe Brady, though, but, I feel like Matt Wu should be fired because he's not the coach. He shouldn't be the coach of the Panthers, though, but that's just my opinion, though. But we'll see how they'll bounce back, especially the Browns, too. Browns just not looking that great, though, so we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe Baker can heal up his injuries, but I still don't think he's not the answer that the Browns need, though, so. But definitely comment down below and tell me your biggest loser, your biggest winner, your favorite game to watch this weekend, and what you're looking forward to in next week's week 14. And subscribe down below to Off the Ball Network for all of your sports needs. Follow offtheballnetwork.com and check it out. Articles, podcasts, everything you need on offtheballnetwork.com. And also follow us on our social media platforms. I'm JP, and we're out of here. Peace. Thank you.